George POV. Kapag nagkukulang ang tao ni Chantal, pinagtatyagaan niya akong maging cashier sa cafe niya. Ito na lang ang pinapagawa niya sa akin dahil wala akong pag-asang maging barista. Malulugi raw siya sa dami ng palpak na orders na ginagawa ko. Ngayon si SJ ang nag-iisang barista sa cafe, samantalang si Chantal at ang isang waitress ang nag-aasikaso sa mga customers. Ay, ani SJ habang minamanayobra ang espresso machine. Kailangan mo ba ng tulong? Tanong ko sa kanya habang nakikita ko siyang nakakunotang noo sa harap ng machine. No, masungit pa na tugon niya. May binulong din siya na hindi ko maintindihan. Si Sujin Kim ang Koreanang staff ni Chantal sa cafe niya. Pamangkin ito ng kasosyo ni Chantal sa cafe niya. Magaling itong gumawa ng kape. Tinanong ko kung saan siya nakakuha ng techniques. Kumibit-balikit lang siya, tinalikuran ako. Hindi ko malaman kung anong galit niya sa akin. Samantala, noong una siyang pinakilala ni Chantal, napakabait nito at palangiti. Bigla na lang nagbago ang pakikitungo niya sa akin. Ano bang problema ng babaeng to? Maya-maya, nagulat ako sa lalaking pumasok ng cafe. Isang matamis na ngiti ang binigay niya sa akin. Gaya ng ngiti ng anak niya. Nilapitan siya ni Chantal at dinala sa isang espesyal na upuan. Nilapitan ako ni Chantal at sinabing siya na lang raw ang tatao sa cashier. Lapitan mo si Tito Nick. Binibisita ka ata ng biyanan mo? Ano naman ang sasabihin ko sa kanya? Kinakabahang sagot ko. Napakulot ang noo ko habang sinisipat ang kinaroroonan ng biyanan ko. Kumibit-balikat lang si Chantal. Ewan, puntahan mo para magbigay-pugay sa kanya. Inirapan ko lang si Chantal. Ano naman ang sasabihin ko kay Nicolas Vera Perez? Huminga ako ng malalim at pumunta sa kinaroroonan niya. I can see the resemblance between him and Pablo. Pareho ang uhugis ng muka at ngiti nila, maliban sa dimples, pati ang paraan ng pananamit nila, magkatulad. Hi, Mr. Vera Perez. Kinakabahang bati ko dito. Georgina, hi. I can't believe I will see you here in Chantal's cafe. I am just helping my best friend. Kulang po kasi siya sa staff ngayon. Kaya po nag-duty ako ngayon para tulungan siya. For free. Sabi ko pa dito. Mukha lang akong tanga ng idagdag ang word na free. Napaka-awkward ng reply ko sa biyanan ko. Oh, I see. Good to hear that. Well, I guess she is indeed lucky to have a supportive friend like you. Seeing his daughter-in-law lightened up his mood. She was wearing a simple shirt and faded jeans, with her painted in a neat pony. She wore no makeup, just a sweet smile that brightens any man who would set eyes on her. Nicholas felt good when he met his son's wife. She looks young and vibrant, especially when they were introduced in the mansion. It made him painfully aware of his own age. Though he didn't need a walking stick yet, but he could feel the signs of aging. Pains in every joint, and the fact that he couldn't keep up with his young mistress when it comes to bed. He shook his head, irritated by the maudlin thumb of his thoughts. There were more important things to focus on at the moment. Why don't you join me? We weren't introduced properly in the mansion. I want to hear more about you, Iha. Lumingon si George sa likod niya at tiningnan kung kakailanganin pa siya ni Chantal. Tinenyasan niya ito at tumango lang ang kaibigan pabalik sa kanya. Okay po. Sagot naman niya sa kanyang biyanan. Ano naman kaya ang gustong malaman ng biyanan niya? Do you want something else? Tiningnan ni George si Nicolas Vera Perez. I think I will just have juice, but I will just get it. No need. He immediately said and made a sign at the waitress. He ordered a glass of fresh juice for his daughter-in-law. Thank you, the young lady said after receiving the glass of orange juice. His mother is an interfering old eagle. She forced his only son to get married to let him have the control of the shipping line and their small island in Greece. He must admit that the plan to force Pablo into marriage is poorly thought out, but it did not mean he will just sit idly and watch his son to get hurt in process. He was appalled when he heard about his mother's plan. It is like a repeat of what happened to him and Pablo's mother. He must admit, it was his fault why their marriage failed. The woman loved him, but he was too young to care. When he came to his senses and was about to process his love, it was already over. She left him and went to have her lovers. He was the only one to blame in that situation. Ayaw niyang pagdaanan ni Pablo ang sinapit niya. Now, here is the chance to get his daughter-in-law better. Gusto niyang malaman ang totoong pakay nito sa pagpapakasal sa anak niya. It is the money, of course, but he wants to know how much. And what is she getting from their agreement? If she married his only son for his money, why is she wearing plain clothes? Why would she spend time working in her best friend's cafe and not spending her money on shopping or traveling? Why can't she be like the other girls that Pablo dates? His son is the most sought bachelor in the Philippines, and his wife is neither a model or a celebrity, but a hired hand in cafe. But there is something about this woman. She is a breath of fresh air. She isn't sophisticated, not superficial, but her raw beauty and innocence can render any man speechless. Mr. Vera Perez? He remembered that he was staring at his daughter-in-law. He doesn't want to make her uncomfortable. Oh yes, it was a surprise to find you here. I wanted to know more about you, Iha. I guess our time to talk wasn't enough when we were at the mansion. Oh yes, sir. I must admit. He gave a lovely smile at the young lady. Please drop the formalities, Miss George. Call me Nick. No, I can't. Parang bastos naman po kapag tinawag ko kayo sa pangalan. Tatawagin ko na lang po kayong Tito Nicolas. No, just call me Dad instead. You are married to my son, by the way. Okay, Mr. Vera. Dad. Thank you. Now, Georgina, tell me something about you. Feeling niya nasa job interview siya. Nahuli yata ang biyanan niyang ito sa tanong nito kung sino siya bago niya pinakasalan si Pablo. Sinabi niya ang tungkol sa trabaho niya at kung paano sila nagkakilala ni Pablo. Pero balak ko pong bumalik sa pagdadive next year. Hindi po kasi ako sanay mamirmihan sa bahay eh. Nick nodded at his daughter-in-law. Must you go back to your old job? I believe my son was generous enough to settle money on you. This is what she had been expecting. The man in front of him is upbraiding her. She won't let him get to her nerves. I know my son well enough to know he'd be generous, he said, sounding more defensive than he would have liked. She is definitely insulted. Kung pwede lang, tumayo na siya sa kinaupon niya at tumalikod sa biyanan niya. Mawalang galang na po. Ano po bang gusto ninyong malaman? Hindi ko naman po gustong lumabas na bastos. Pero dumadami na po yung mga tao sa cafe. Kailangan na ni Chantal ng tulong. Okay, I am sorry. I just wanted to know why you married my son. With all due respect, I am not going to discuss my relationship with Pablo with you. We are both adults, beyond 25. We don't need the consent of anyone. He is my son, and he is my husband. Our decision to get married is none of your business. I'm sorry po. That retort hit him like an arrow. He knew he has never been there for his son. Getting married with no reason will ruin his life, or the young lady in front of him. A life full of bitterness is enough for him to take. He can't his only son to suffer the same fate. Young lady, you don't understand. He married you to have the full control of our company. Yes, I know that. It is not a healthy reason to get married. I also know that. I don't want to see anyone hurt from this marriage, Iha. I know I haven't been a great father to Pablo, but I don't want him to be in the same fate I had. Because of this kind of setup, I am still protective to him, though he doesn't approve it. Her expression softened, gentled by the emotions that her father-in-law showing to her. I'm sorry, sir. I won't discuss my marriage with you, but I will tell you that I won't hurt him. Nicholas looked at her, saw the emotion in her eyes, and suddenly, he knew the answer to his original question. He didn't know what, or anything. The money had to do with her marriage to his son, but he knew it hadn't been her primary motivation. She was in love with Pablo. And his first thought wasn't relief, but a quick, unexpected pinch of concern. Not for his son, but for Georgina. He'd been worried that Pablo would get hurt, but maybe it wasn't Pablo who was at risk. Georgina's POV. Masakit man, pero kailangan kong ipamigay si Lupi. Nahihirapan ang mga tiyahin kong mag-alaga sa kanya. Then sinabi sa akin ni Moira na bibili sila ng aso para kay Yen. Ako nang nagkusa na nagsabi na ibibigay ko na lang ang aso ko sa kanya. Ipinaalam ko na muna kay Chantal. Kasi alam ko na magdadamdam yon kapag nalaman niyang pinamigay ko si Lupi. Eto ba talagang gusto mo? Tanong sa akin ni Pablo habang nagdadrive. Tumangulang ako sa kanya habang nasa bisig ko si Lupi. Wala naman akong magagawa eh. Ayaw mo namang isama siya sa unit natin. Narinig ko na bumuntong hininga si Pablo. Alam mo namang hindi siya pwede sa unit natin, di ba? Kung labag sa loob mong ipamigay siya, no, hindi labag sa loob ko. Mahinahong sabi ko. Napabuntong hininga ako habang nakatingin kay Lupi. Alam kong magiging masaya si Yen at maaalagaan siya ng mabuti doon. Masayang masaya si Yen nang makita niya si Lupi. Paglapag ko pa lamang kay Lupi, kumawag na ang buntot nito nang makita si Yen. Auntie Gina, he's so cute. Are you sure he's mine now? Tumangu-tango naman ako sa kanya. Yes, he's yours now. Hinimas niya ang ulo ni Lupi at napatili ito nang mag-umpisang magharot si Lupi. He's really so lovely. Why are you giving him away? Are you and Uncle Pablo having a baby? Nagulantang ako sa tanong ng bata. Yen, tawag naman ni Moira sa anak niya. Lumapit kay Yen at binulungan ito. Napabuntong hininga na lang ako. Kailan kaya ako magkakaroon ng baby na kasing cute ni Yen? Okay lang, Moira. Sabi ko naman kay Moira. Yen, come on, let's play with Lupi. Pablo's POV. So, things are working out pretty well, I guess. Sabi ni Inaki mula sa tabi ko. We were at the table, having our coffee at the garden. What's working out? I asked after sipping my coffee. You and George, I think it's going pretty well. You two are comfortable with each other. Napasinghap naman ako. I prefer not to talk how comfortable we are in each other. If I have a wife for a year, I couldn't do better. I like her, pare. Sabi ni Inaki habang nakatingin sa asawa ko. And so do I. Sagot ko naman kagad dito. I know what she felt for me. I can't say I love her, but I desire her. I wonder what will happen in the next month. Abangan ang susunod na kabanata.